Many greetings this Tuesday. I wonder how you would like to be remembered when you die. This was a question that a TV interviewer asked the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu. This powerful Christian leader, acclaimed as the conscience of his nation, a vital leader in the fight against apartheid, replied in simple human terms. He loved, he laughed, he cried. He was forgiven, he forgave. On Sunday, December 26th, 2021, Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, a giant in the faith, died at age 90 in Cape Town. This diminutive priest and prophet was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1984. He was a vocal supporter of sanctions against South Africa, and hated by the supporters of the apartheid regime, who accused him of being an agitator and a traitor. And yet, Tutu was well loved and respected by many for courageously speaking the truth, and having served a year as Bishop of Johannesburg, he was then appointed Archbishop of Cape Town, the head of the Anglican Church in his country, the first black to ever be appointed Archbishop. The President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, said, "From the pavements of resistance in South Africa to the pulpits of the world's great cathedrals and places of worship, and the prestigious setting of the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony, the Arch distinguished himself as a non-sectarian, inclusive champion of universal human rights." And yet, in spite of all his activism and accomplishments, Tutu wanted to be remembered for his loving relationships, for his joyful, hearty laugh, and his compassionate weeping with those who are suffering. In the Book of Joy, an extended interview with the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop, I was interested to learn that Tutu had had a number of near-fatal illnesses. He was born into a poor family and sickly. He had polio, which led to his right hand atrophying. He nearly died of TB as a teenager, spending 18 months in hospital, visited by his mentor friend, the Reverend Trevor Huddleston, who was told by a doctor that Tutu would not make it. And yet, amazingly, this man lived an incredibly long and fruitful life. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1987 and had made peace years ago with his mortality. He specified that he wanted a simple funeral, to be buried in a simple pine coffin, the least expensive there is. Ever aware of others, he was in fact aquamated, a more environmentally friendly way of being cremated, which he desired. And this was, he stated, in order to conserve space. The Archbishop lived what he taught to others, according to the idea of Ubuntu. A person is a person through other persons. We exist in community, not I, but we. Therefore, seeking the communal good is the priority. After serving his 10 years as Archbishop, Tutu continued to work hard, advocating for important causes, such as social and racial justice, protection of the LGBTQIA communities, and care of the environment. In 2015, Tutu presented a petition to world leaders asking them to create a world run on renewable energy within 35 years. because he saw climate change as one of the greatest challenges of our time, specifically affecting the most poor. The Archbishop decided to retire from public life in 2010 so that he could spend more time with his beloved wife, Leah, of 66 years, his 4 children, and his 9 grandchildren. He was unafraid to die. In this Christian tradition to which I belong, I will be entering a fuller life. He was looking forward to meeting his parents and his older brother, who died before him. He wanted to meet St. Augustine, St. Thomas Aquinas, and the many people who had taught him so much about praying. And heaven for Tutu would be a place of never-ending discovery, since none of us creatures can ever fully fathom the infinitude that is God. On earth, he saw humanity as a rainbow people, created in the image of this infinite God. And he spoke, taught, and preached that South Africa, after the election of President Mandela in 1995, should become a place of opportunity for people of every race, where all are beloved. He worked hard as chairperson appointed to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which began in 1995, to bring peace and reconciliation to his suffering country. This world has lost a luminous light which shone in the cruel and cold darkness. So I wonder, how can we as Christians here in Arlington live out Ubuntu, showing love and compassion in all our relationships? Have we confronted our mortality in these COVID times? And how will we be remembered when we each die? May Desmond Tutu rest in peace and rise in glory, and may God comfort his wife Leah, his family, and the grieving people of South Africa. If you would like a good read, I recommend the following books by Bishop Tutu: The Rainbow People of God, No Future Without Forgiveness, God Has a Dream, Made for Goodness, and the Book of Joy.